So a question I usually get whenever I tell people about my writing is, how do I accomplish so much at such a young age? For those of you that don't know, I am 17 and I have completed these works within relative succession. I've completed Journey of a Lifetime, The Ethereal, Obedience, and Two Goddesses. Two Goddesses, which isn't published yet, because I'm still going through the major things. And I'm currently working on Voidment, which, just a brief look for you guys, if it doesn't decide to move at a snail's pace, it's roughly about 200 pages. I don't know why it's not showing up right now. But the point is that I work fast, and I am able to get all this content down. So here's the question that people must be thinking. Definitely not me being vain. How do you get to this level? How do you write so much and want to continue to write? That's kind of easy and kind of difficult to answer at the same time. The main thing I want to get at is that you have to be passionate about writing. You have to continue with it, push through with it, and see to it that you maintain it. You have to keep a schedule. You have to force it into your brain that you want to keep on writing. But if you don't want to write, then don't write. Only write if you have a goal within your head. I've written 4 books. And from what I can say about getting to that level, getting to the level where you have written this amount of work, it takes a lot of time. This book right here, which is available on Amazon, this book took me 5 years. Transcribing it from paper to a document is not what took it 5 years. Just getting everything ready is what took it 5 years. It took me a few years to finish up the rough draft. It took me a few years to transcribe it onto what you see now, and it took me a few years to get cover art, which I did get cover art. My cover artist is not a bad cover artist. She did a great job. But it takes time and effort, and a lot of that time you may not have on your hands. So a big thing about this is you need to have a lot of time on your hands. And I'm talking about a lot. You think that maybe like 15 minutes a day would get you this result? No. You need to spend hours if you want to get this result. You need to spend a lot of time and a lot of effort into making sure it is as best as it can be, and that not only you enjoy it, but others enjoy it too. We're still going. We haven't even reached the end of this document yet. That's how long it takes to load. And granted, I use Google Docs, so mayhaps I'm not the best person to say something about this. But anyhow, this will keep on going for a little bit. Point is that there's a lot here. And whether that's an issue or not, it's really up to what others think. But the point is that I have done this. I have pushed myself to do this. And that's how I got to it. So what do I recommend? What do I recommend to beginning writers? What do I recommend to those who are new to the writing game, to those who wish to pursue writing one way or another? What do I suggest to them? How many pages do I recommend they write a day? And what do I recommend that they write about? What you write about, I don't have any say in that. That is all you, buddy. You have to decide it. The characters you create, Yeah, you can maybe get some help with names, descriptions, or the likes, but I'm not going to tell you how to create a character. I'm not going to tell you how to push your plot forward. That is something you're going to need to learn on your own. You need to learn how to push yourself forward and how to get better. You need to learn how to get better and think clearer. Be confident in what you write in. Be confident in what you write. That's what I meant to say. And be confident in what you think. But at the same time, be open-minded and keep on striding to get better. So, as for an average page count per day, if you want to go down that route, which, trust me, if you're going down that route, typing is better. Don't physically write 5 pages a day. I did that, and my wrist felt pain unlike none other. I think I may have gotten carpal tunnel briefly because of that. But we're not talking about my wrists. That's another story. I can still type just fine, as you can clearly see. So, I feel that the best page count you can do for beginning writers would be roughly maybe 1 or 3 pages a day. Sure, if you have the motive and the incentive to push forward and continue, then go ahead. Write more. But the main thing we're getting at here is to instill something that can be daily and not strain your brain to living hell. Because all it takes are a few bad headaches and migraines from writing to want to completely stop writing forever. It's how it goes, guys, sometimes. And I'll be honest, if I let that got to me, I probably wouldn't have this many stories right here, right now. So, you need to keep on pushing with a goal that's reasonable and advance that goal as you go up. I never recommend more than 10 pages a day, though, because you do that, you're going to burn yourself out. Keep it to relatively to the single digits, 10 at max, if you really want to go down that route. But that does not mean stop yourself. That just means that you have something to strive for. That just means that this is a goal. And whether you surpass that goal is up to you, ultimately. Some days, I barely manage to get 5 pages done. That is my goal, 5 pages a day. Whether that seems pathetic to you or not, 5 pages a day for 5 days gets me 25 pages. And if I can manage that for a week, I get 35. 35 pages a week, or, get this, 150 pages a month. 5 times 30. So a small goal goes a long way. Keep that in mind. And yeah, I could write more. And if I were to do 10 pages a day, I would have 10 pages a day for 10 days gets you 1,000. No, not 1,000. That gets you 100 pages per 10 days and 300 per month. And I would be pumping out books like crazy, man, if I can do that. But at the same time, the quality of content would drop. So, maintain a goal. Keep with that goal, and keep on thinking. Another thing that contributes to my constant writing and constant thought flow was probably the fact that I daydreamed almost religiously as a middle schooler. Yeah, something as stupid as just sitting in the corner of the room idly staring at a wall can get you results. Results like that, kids. So don't belittle daydreaming, And don't belittle small page goals. Now, of course, if you're under a crutch, like publishers, and you need to write like 123 pages in the span of a week, then if you can't ask your publisher for more time, get to cranking and just don't sleep. So keep at this. Keep at a daily goal and actively look for inspiration. Now, how do you find inspiration? What exactly is inspiration? Where do you go to get that thought flow? How can I take a simple event and then get the details of that event and then prescribe it into my story? Or how can I look at this that someone else wrote and take that and be inspired by that without copywriting? Let's start with events first. If you want to take an event and then interpret that into your story, you first need to figure out how you're going to interpret it. Are you going to have the emotions of how the event affected people into the story? Or an event similar to that affect people in your story? I'm just going to throw this out. I think it's a horrible subject to talk about, but I'm just going to say it for the sake of an example. Police brutality. How can you take that and then get inspiration from that? Be respectful first. Don't undermine the event. Police brutality is a terrible thing. Now, take what's in the event and then take, I don't want to say everything about it, but take some contents from it and then perceive it into your own works. Now, with a subject like police brutality, I think you can just take that and put it into your own works and be like, yeah, it's messed up, because that's a subject that's hard and can be easily done. Not, well, you get what I'm saying. So with that being said, there's that. But if it's an event specific, like, I'm gonna make something up, Washington manhole explosions. All the manholes in Washington spontaneously combust, sending shards of shrapnel into people's lawns. Many flowers were killed. Many sad gardeners were there that day. So how do you take that event and get inspired from it? Spontaneous combustion. And the death of flowers. Mayhaps you have flower people, or some other weird stuff. Manhole shrapnel kills them. Be dramatic. And it's random. Possibly original too. So there's that. Now how do you take someone else's work and get inspired from that without copywriting? In Dragon Ball Z, an anime that I used to watch all the time when I was a kid, they'd always punch, fight, send lasers at people. Huh. Punch, fight, and send lasers. I've seen that in a lot of books. Just because a certain move in that show has a name doesn't mean you can replicate that move. Granted, just don't copy the positions. And you can use that and be inspired by it. You can be inspired by a red hat that has M on it. Well, most of us know that as Mario. Maybe this guy just has a red hat with an M on it. And it's just like, hey, it's me, Mama Louisa. Why do I have an M on my hat when my name starts with an L? Because people call me Mama, don't question it. But you get what I'm saying. Take bits of it and then perceive it into your own work. If you find something cool, don't feel threatened by it. Don't feel that you now can't use that idea. Instead, take hints of that and combine it with your own flavor. A chef can cook with fresh salt and pepper as much as he wants, but if he doesn't go to the store and mixes that with some, I don't know, generic barbecue sauce, he may never make the best steak. Or whatever. Not saying you have to have salt and pepper on your steak, and I don't like steak either. But you have to go out of your comfort zone, and you have to push yourself sometimes. Get inspired by weird things. Don't limit yourself. In the world of writing, there are going to be things you don't like. There will always be things that you, as an author, don't like. Now, because you don't like that, doesn't mean that the scene's bad. It just means that your opinion on it happens to fall somewhere else. You can write the greatest scene in literary history, and if you don't like it, you'll probably still think that it's not worth it. So get some outside opinion, as much as you can. Now, of course, don't limit yourself to outside opinion. But if you're unsure about something, outside opinion will help you a lot. If you like what you write, that's great. But maybe this person thinks that it's not great. Take what they don't like about it, and then try to think through their perspective, and then try to think about people who also may not like it. Because you just gotta be aware of that stuff, man. So, to sum up what I've said so far, daily goals, inspiration, and don't be afraid to step out of your boundaries. That is important. And I don't know how this became an ongoing conversation about writing in general, but I guess it became one now. So, there you go. Yeah, that's it. Voidment is still being in the works. It is about 200 pages done. We have about 400 more pages with that. Probably get that done within a few more months. And then, yeah, the 5th book will be ready. During that time frame, I'm going to be reading through Two Goddesses, checking quality content for that, and then maybe sometime this month or next month, you guys should have a copy of it available for ebook with a temporary cover. Anyhow, yeah, if you sat through all of this, I respect your time. I hope I taught you something. Yeah, peace out, mans and womans.